Hi, welcome. So in the last video, we installed Power BI and I showed you how to install Power BI using the Microsoft Store or just downloading and installing directly to your machine. So in this video, we are going to look at the interface and create our first report because Power BI is really very easy and intuitive to create reports. That's what it's meant for really, and really very easy. So we are just going to look at the interface of Power BI. And for those of you, it's your first time of ever maybe opening it up, you might be overwhelmed, but then it's supposed to be very easy. So let's just go straight and look a bit at the Power BI and then create our first report. Very simple report. So here we are. When you just open up Power BI, if you've installed it, and if you've not installed it, you can just go back and check the previous video before this one. So where we installed Power BI together. So the first thing you notice when you just see this is add data to your report. So they'll be saying, do you want to import data from Excel, or you want to import data from SQL server, and then it's just to, or you try a sample data set. So this is you bring in data, and then from there you can move on to transforming it or creating your reports or your charts. So here on the right side, when we look at, we'll see there are these visualizations. So you can see here, if I hover here, this is a stack bar chart. And then here, for example, you can come here, you see this is a pie chart. This is donut chart. So we are just going to create a basic visualization in this video so that you would see how to use Power BI to create visualizations, which is the first thing. And then if you look here, this is just the format page. So you can do some formatting here. And then on the left side here, these are there's a report view, which you would see here in this video. And then the data view, which you would focus on more in more subsequent videos. And this model view, which we'll also see in the subsequent video to be able to build relationships. So over here now, these are your tabs. So if you're an Excel user, you would be a bit comfortable seeing things like this because you're used to things like this: home, insert, modeling, view. So here you have your ribbons. So here these are the get data from the multiple sources. Again, as we saw in the last video, there are so many sources you can get data from in Power BI. Just so many, maybe every source imaginable, because you have them all here. Different sources, quick base. I mean, there are just so many here. So anyone, Amazon Athena, GitHub, Google Analytics, Adobe Analytics, just so many databases you can connect to and import your data here, and even import from several different databases and combine them as you would see as you get more used to Power BI. So this, and you can even enter the data yourself manually. Maybe you want to enter data for a lookup table to be able to look up things, maybe country, continents. You can enter them and then join them to other tables and look up. So you can enter your data there, and then you have different maybe the recent sources, and then you can go to the transform, which you would see in a subsequent video more how to use the Power Query to transform your data. As you can see here, the Power Query to connect, prepare, and transform your data. And then now you can also add text box to your data, more visuals. So here is just the home tab, and then here there's the insert. So you can insert like text box here again, shapes here, buttons. These are so many things you can do. And then for the modeling, you can add new parameters. We are going to see how to add new measures, new columns, things like that in a subsequent video. And then also you can have different views to make your layout a bit more interesting and also more dynamic, maybe for whatever purpose you want to do, especially if you want to make the reporting maybe more attractive to your consumers. So briefly, these are the just the first few things you would see. And if you're an Excel user, you'll be familiar with it. And but then if you're not an Excel user, it's not a problem still. Power BI is meant to be very intuitive, and there are many things Excel users will need to unlearn to be able to be successful using Power BI. So if I click here, I'm just going to import some data from Excel so that we can just create a simple report, and it's data that we've been using before in the subsequent videos. Click here. So I'll just bring in like the data set we use for Excel pivot table. So we've seen that in an earlier video. So I'm also going to link the video, the data set here in the description of this video so that you can have access to it. So if you see here, it brings up the navigator, and from this navigator, it is saying that this is the data, the raw data. So if I click here, it is now evaluating, and it says, I know this data is containing staff code, name, date of birth, marital status, gender, salary, recruitment date. So it's able to carve out a table that is found in that Excel sheet. And then if you click here, as soon as you click here, then you have the option to either load it or transform the data, and you can go ahead now to create a visual with the data. So if we load it, we are just going to go straight to the report view, and then we can start dropping like pie charts or bar charts or whatever based on our knowledge of visualization, which we'll still discuss a bit again in this series. We had a whole video about visualization when we're doing Excel earlier, so you can always go back and look at it, but then we are still going to discuss that briefly. So I could just decide to just go straight to load, and if I go straight to load, so it's actually say they are pending changes in queries that haven't been applied changes. So it is actually loading the data, the data, and if, as you can see here on this side, you would have now raw data here. So this is the data set, and if you click on it, you will see that you have those columns that, if you remember this data set, there is the recruitment date, there is the gender, there is the marital status, and there is the name. So this data is here, and we are in this report view. So it says build visuals with your data. Select or drag fields from the data pane onto the report canvas. So you can either select fields like this, maybe marital status, and you have it there, and salary, for example. And as you can see, you already have your the number, the sum of salary is here already. The single, the married is here already. And then it is showing you, okay, this is a table. So you could decide now to choose the visual that you want, such as this visual, for example. And then now, for example, you have your salaries, different salaries here. So you have the marital status, the married here, and the single here. And then maybe if, for example, you take your marital status and then you drop it like a legend here again, it now is able to give you again like the different colors. So you know, this one is the single, this one is the married, and then you're able to see here that you can either click like this to get that report like that, or if you didn't do that, let's say we delete this, another option is just say, I know I'm going to need a stacked chart. That is it there. Then you carry your data, say you take again your marital status to here, then you take your salary to here, then again you take the salary to here, to your no, the marital status, because you want the legend to be here. So I'm going to take marital status to the legend. Then you see you've created the same thing. So you can either click here to have the it is going to propose to you what it thinks will be good, or you can already know the visual that you need here. You click and it comes here. Or if you're not satisfied with this one, you preferred maybe a pie chart based on the visualization that you want, then you can be able to choose here and maybe change visuals based on what is applicable to that data set. So it is very easy to create a report in Power BI. Just imagine you have your Excel file like that, you just connect it, load, and then you already have the report running here. So here, as of now, we are using the sum of salary here, as you can see here, the column axis. So you could as well, if you remember, like with the pivot table, it could be average salary. So this is going to change. And then if you see here, there's a whole drop down here. It could be minimum, it could be maximum, it could be count, it could be variance. So if we put count there, you're going to get the different salaries, like the count. This is the number of married, these are the number of singles. So you're able to get that easily here. And then you know that with this, you can just change. Maybe you wanted to add maybe gender, you just need to carry this and drop here. Then you would have another layer added. So Power BI is really very, very intuitive and very easy to use. So now we can see that the marital status is here, and then the married, if you see, the female is this color, the male is this color. So we can see that the female here for the married are less than the male here, and then for the single here we have higher than the male here. So you can change that, tweak it as you want, make it, change it, so it's now left on your visualization skills to be able to use these tools here to come up with very interesting insight for your audience. So it's just generally you click here, select the data sets here, or you're able to pick up the visualization that you want here, and then you have them here. So you see, it's very easy to create your visuals in Power BI. So if you wanted to create a second visual, say you wanted to create a pie chart, you could as well just click out here, click here, and then if we click here, we have a second visual. And then now we can decide what goes in there. Maybe we say gender goes in there, and then we want to get, say, let's just take again the salary and drop there. So we might have, so if you see, each time we click, it affects the charts, which we are going to see more of this in detail. And if you click out, it has everything here. So we can also move the charts around as you want, and maybe have a report of what. So this is the first page, and then you could also have a second page, and maybe this page is on revenue, this page is on cost, then the third page is on profit. So these are just the easiest ways to create a visualization in Power BI, just getting your data in and moving straight to a visual. You already have a clean data set. So in the next video, we are going to look at how to get a data set now, extract it, transform it first, clean it, adjust it before coming to get the report view. So I hope you've been able to learn how to create a visual very easily in Power BI, which is not the least complicated. You just bring in data, you load it, and then you choose the visual. And then in the next video, we are going to bring in some data that is not clean, do some extract, transform, load with Power Query. You would see some of the very powerful things that Power Query can do to your data. And then before we load it now to the report view, and then choose the visualizations that we want. And then in subsequent videos, we are going to teach you more and more on how to get very interesting dashboards. So I hope you were able to learn a lot from this video. See you next video. Wish you good data luck.